You are limited only by your uncontrolled imagination and by your lack of attention on the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And that is a truth. And in this video, I want to help you to understand why it is important to A, control your imagination so that you no longer continue to see undesired circumstances in your life, and B, how you train your attention to keep it on the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So with that, let's just dive right into this video. So like Neville Goddard said, the great secret, and we're really speaking about, the great secret to accomplish your goals, the great secret to change your life, the great secret to manifest what right now is not appearing in your world. The great secret to do that is, again, a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention firmly and repeatedly focused on the object to be accomplished. And again, alone in this first sentence, we have a lot to talk about. Right? So I like how Neville is in some of his lectures, in some of his books, he has certain paragraphs where he's really summarizing the law, where he's really summarizing manifestation, and the same is true here, right? So the great secret, that is what it is all about, right? That is what we do when we consciously imagine. We shift into the desired state of having what we want to have, of being who we want to be in the here and now. So how do we do that? By, again, controlling our imagination, because if we don't control our imagination, it goes anywhere, right? We imagine this, we might dwell on unwanted things, we might go to circumstances that we actually don't want to imagine, but, our attention gets just directed in that direction, and then we wonder why, maybe also not so good things show up in our life. But if you are able to control your imagination, so you control what you imagine, and you can sustain your attention and repeat it on this accomplished fact, right? On this imaginary sensation, on this imaginary, let's just say, experience that implies that your wish is fulfilled, and you bring your attention to that. And you make it alive inside of yourself, well, then it becomes normal for you within. It becomes natural, it becomes certain, it becomes the new norm. You identify with it more and more. So the two keys: consciously controlling imagination and keeping our attention on a certain state until it becomes natural. It cannot be emphasized too much that by creating an ideal within your mental sphere, by assuming that you are already that ideal, you identify yourself with it and thereby transform yourself into its image, thinking from the ideal instead of thinking of the ideal. Right, that's the summary. And I like how Neville described it here, right? By creating an ideal within your mental sphere. What is your mental sphere? Well, that's your inner world, right? Your inner reality, where you dwell within. And by assuming that you are that ideal, right? You first need clarity. Who is it that I want to be? What is it that excites me right now? What is it that I desire? Where is my dissatisfaction coming from? So what does that mean? What's the desire behind that in my life, right? What do I want? And then what version of myself already lives the desired circumstances? What version of myself already has achieved the goal? And then starting to identify with that version, right? And therefore transforming ourselves in its image. Right? Thereby transform yourself into its image. Thereby we start to transform, we start to merge with that ideal version of us that already exists. And then we start to think from it. We start to see the world from that version. We start to think from that version. We start to react from this desired version, although the circumstances haven't changed yet. Right? This is thinking from. Every state is already there as mere possibilities. Right? That's why your desire is already in existence. Your desired state is already there. But it's just a possibility, right? And when I had an interview, or let's just say a conversation that I recorded with Josiah Brandt, he also has an amazing YouTube channel where he talks about Neville's teachings and manifestation. He said this thing that really, stuck with me, which is that, a possible state, it's like you just flirt with that state. So you think, oh, okay, you want to have more finances? Well, then you flirt with that possibility, what that would be like. But that will then only remain a possibility. Yet if you really identify yourself with it by having scenes that imply you are that version and you're merging with it, you become one with it, you embody that in the here and now, well, then you tune into that. You shift your awareness, a shift in consciousness. That is when you see all of these videos that are about reality shifting, reality transurfing, shift your reality. That is what it is about. You shift your attention into that version of you that has achieved the goal. You keep your attention there until it becomes natural, and then that inner state is expressed in your world, right? So if as long as you think of it, you flirt with it, well, it's just an opportunity, it's just a possibility. But it becomes overpoweringly real when we start to think from it, right? When we see the world from that ideal. Form a mental image, a picture of the state desired, of the person you want to be. concentrate your attention upon the feeling that you already are that person. First, visualize the picture in your consciousness, right? Then feel yourself to be in that state as though it actually formed your surrounding world. By your imagining, that which was a mere mental image is changed into a seemingly solid reality. Right? So that is where Neville's teachings comes in. Imagining creates reality. Right? What we imagine ourselves to be, by the fact of consciously imagining that is soon what our external reality, our external circumstances will become, will shift into. Because we made that inner shift first. Right? So first visualize the picture in your consciousness. First make the choice, get the clarity, start to assume the unseen reality, start to have trust and faith in that unseen reality until it becomes natural, normal, and starts to feel real for you. And then you will know the world as being this person. People will know you that you're now this new person. But it started all with you consciously putting your attention on that new state. You, assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled and continuing therein, take upon yourself the results of that state. Not assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you're ever free of the results. So you will not see any changes. There won't be any movement if not first you assume the end, if not first you shift into the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Right? Again, if you need help by doing so, right? If you know what to do, you know the theory, you want being kept accountable, you want the nuances in between the journey, you want an approach that fits you, because I know everyone is different and likes a different method and is quite unique, then feel free to apply for my program so that we can see if we are a good fit to work together on this journey, right? I helped 300 people plus to, move forward in their life, to manifest specific goals, and we help people to literally manifest any goal that you might have right now. If it's financial success, business success, health success, relationship success, both general or specific, all of that stuff has been achieved in my program. So again, if you need help, that's the second link in the video description. You can apply and see if you're a good fit. But that is what you have to do, right? You have to assume the feeling and continue therein. And if you notice you go into thinking off again, if you notice you go into desiring again, then bring yourself back and continue in dwelling in the wish fulfilled. That is why you need to control your attention. You cannot let your attention then be directed again from what is right now happening and you're so sucked into the current circumstance. No, you then have to become calm again and direct your attention to what you want instead. But make the shift again. Then you will see the results. If you not do that, you're free of the results, like Neville said. When you understand the redemptive function of imagination, you hold in your hands the key to the solution of all your problems. And I would say that is tremendously powerful. Right? When you understand the power of your imagination, when you understand that through the conscious application of your imagination, you can free yourself of a stuck circumstance, of a limited circumstance, of an undesirable circumstance, because you can imagine the solution. You can imagine that you're already free of it. And if you also have in the back of your mind that this is what eventually will play out in your life, because your imagination is creating your reality, well, then you have the key to the solution of all your earthly problems. The great secret, and that's a quote from the beginning that I said to you, is a controlled imagination and well-sustained attention firmly and repeatedly focused on the feeling of the wish fulfilled, right? Until it fills the mind and grouts all other ideas out of consciousness. That's powerful, because if we come back to it slowly over time, the previous beliefs, the previous assumptions, the previous identifications, they will be crowded out. They will be transcended, right? Because we only focus on this new state. The truth that sets you free is that you can experience in imagination what you desire to experience in what we call reality. And by maintaining this experience in imagination, your desire will become an actuality. That is the truth that will set you free. What is there greater for you to know that in your inner world, in your mental sphere, in your imagination, in your consciousness, in your inner reality, you could experience what it would be like would your goal be achieved. You don't need to believe it right now. It's not that you need, I need to believe that my goal is possible or achieved and then I can imagine it. No, you can imagine it regardless of knowing how it will come, when it will come. It's like Neville's, infamous ladder exercise that he gave to his students, right? Where he told him, imagine that you climb a ladder, and the ones of you who then externally also climbed the ladder through any weird bridge that unfolded and made them climb the ladder, those people were invited to the next Neville lecture. And you can imagine right now that you climb a ladder. There is no ladder in front of you. There is no ladder near to you. but you can imagine climbing it up and down, climbing it up and down. And a couple days, weeks later, you will meet a circumstance where you will also at least start to see ladders. But if you persist in that, you will also start to climb the ladder, right? And that's the truth that sets you free. You can experience in yourself what you desire to experience on the outside. You are limited only by your uncontrolled imagination, because again, if we just go through life, which also happens sometimes, right? There won't be periods where you always imagine consciously. You will also have periods where you simply go through life, enjoy it as it is, and live your life and be present with the circumstances, right? That's fine. But when you find yourself, especially in a spot where you really get triggered often, where you have undesired circumstances, you want to change something, well, then you're only limited by your uncontrolled imagination and the lack of attention on the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And with that, I conclude this video. Let me know in the comments down beneath if you like that, if that was helpful, if you need more videos on, like that, where I dissect and go over certain excerpts of Neville's lectures, because this is from his book, The Power of Awareness. So if you want more like that, then let me know. And also, if, again, you want a summary of Neville's lectures, you want a summary of the law of assumption, a summary of how to shift in the version of yourself that has achieved their goals, that experiences their desires, then check out the free masterclass. We made a brand new one this year, which is way more sharp, way more laser focused, and you can learn a lot from it. I had people emailing me and sending me messages on Instagram that already through the free masterclass, they manifested the goal that they currently had watching these videos. So you can have all of these teachings for totally free on the channel. Again, the masterclass is like a straightforward summary. And if you want personal guidance, then like I told you before, you can check out my program, apply for that, and just see if you're a good fit. Right? We don't work with everyone. You need to meet certain criteria, but if that's the case, then we will happily start to work with you. And if you just want to get started, you know that going in a program is too high of a commitment for you, but you want to connect with like-minded people. You want to be around people who also learn about these teachings and apply them and have successes with them, then be aware I have an inner circle community. It's only $50, and you could join that immediately. Go on my website, upgradeyourlife.com, click on the inner circle, join it. You can cancel anytime and see if you like it. All right. So that's it for this video. Speak to you in the next one. Bye, guys.